what's up, everybody? Thanks for joining us today with a craft beer cult. I'm Joe.
I'm Fred.
And today we're checking out Treehouse Brewing Company out of Massachusetts. I believe the main location's Charlton, Mass.
I believe so.
That's not where they started, though. I believe
No,
they
it was
started
Greenfield.
Something like
I
one of
think
those
something
towns
like
in
that.
Massachusetts you've never heard of.
Right.
But their main location, they have, I think, 4 now: Deerfield, Sturbridge,
And Sandwich.
along the Cape now.
Yep.
So they're expanding throughout Massachusetts. A lot of people's opinion
And
they're
all extremely expensive and
expensive. Yeah,
not
it's,
expensive, expansive.
Oh,
They're big and very beautiful places. I mean, they're really cool
I've only
atmospheres. I know in Charlton they have hiking trails.
Yeah, I've only been to Charlton, but it's actually a beautiful location. It's probably the only place my wife will actually enjoy going to. That's a brewery, but yeah, you can hike along the back. Even if you don't want to hike, they have nice pizza ovens. There's always a food truck. Huge location. I think it's just 10 miles off I-90. So it's kind of in the middle of nowhere, but if you're ever heading down to Connecticut for any reason, it's a good stop. That's usually when I go.
Well, let's stop talking about it. Let's start drinking some beer.
I say we can drink some beer. We start with the green.
Let's start with green.
Green is one of their first beers that they made. I think it was Green and Haze were the originals. Julius came shortly after, and these are the 3 standouts.
I'm glad we started with green then.
Yeah, I kind of thought that was...
This is an Indian Pale Ale. It is 7.5%. Not much aroma. I mean, a little bit, but...
No, it's clean and good. That's about...
But I'm not getting a hoppy...
Yeah, I don't get a lot of flavor.
It's
either.
not a powerful aroma by any means.
It's a good beer. You can tell by drinking it, but...
It's actually creamy.
Yeah,
It's creamy. It's got a good mouthfeel.
That's a lot of their beers have a creamy feel to them. I think, especially on the Julius line.
A little bitter on the back end for me. A little bit more bitter than I would like.
Well, I mean,
it's a solid IPA.
It's the original recipe too. There's different variations. So if you don't like this, you might like the very green.
I actually like the greener.
The greener. What is it? I think it's very. I don't know.
Oh, very green.
Yeah, very, very.
Oh, the very green. There's variations on all of their beers. Today we tried to go with the mainstays. We actually did a review of Treehouse
Maybe 6-7 months ago.
a while ago.
We did just the.
But it was their summer beers, pilsners, lagers. So we figured we'd do the mainstays this time around.
Glad we did. So far,
what are we gonna give it for a green?
The green is definitely a classic IPA. Definitely one of the better IPAs. It's one of the first standout beers in Massachusetts. So I can't rate it low, but I don't think it's that great. So I'm gonna go 6.5.
I think I'm with you on the 6.5. It's not. There are other variations I think that are actually
It's a good,
a better recipe, but it's still a good clean
It's
beer.
drinkable.
It's definitely drinkable. I mean, you can
have
drink
4 of those, no problem. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's actually a little high on the alcohol. Not too
7.5
bad.
isn't bad at all. No,
No,
that's
it's respectable.
definitely not
So
a beer you should
a
have more
solid
than 4.
6.5 for green. We're gonna finish this up and we'll get back to you
Cheers.
with Haze. Our second beer from Treehouse is
Haze. All right.
It's a double IPA coming in at 8.2.
It's described as a beer that has a orange juice aroma with papaya, peach, and oranges as the fruit base. Definitely it offsets the hop bitterness, so they claim, and I don't think they're wrong. I've had it.
It's definitely slightly more aromatic than the last.
Yeah.
But not a real pungent odor or smell. Not odor.
That's really good. I definitely agree with what they said with the fruits definitely offset the bitterness. There's not a lot of bitter in this.
No, there really isn't. It's got a little bitter in the finish. Overall, it's really smooth. I can't even say it's balanced because I don't think there's as much bitter.
It doesn't hit like a bitter. It's like maybe slightly at the end, but it's not.
But this is a tasty
It's not
beer.
bad. I like it. It's good. It's almost going into the, I don't want to say this because I'm going to sound like an idiot, but it's almost going into like the sour region with the lack of like bitterness at the end for me. I
don't
taste
think
a
so.
lot of the fruits.
I don't taste a lot of fruit. I mean, a little bit, not huge.
It's not a sour. That's
What do you
not
rate
what
it?
I'm saying. But for a rating, this is definitely a 7.25. 7.25. That's what I'm going with.
I mean, to me, this
I'm
is
not changing my story.
This is better than the green.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with 7 on this one.
All right. I respect it. So there's no third guy today to even us out. So I guess we're gonna
No.
fall in the middle of a 7 and a 7.25. You
So-
do the math at home because we're beer drinkers,
Yeah,
not
pretty
math
much.
majors.
But we're
But
gonna finish this up, and we'll get back to you
it's a really good beer. It's a really good beer.
with the third beer.
All right, let's do it. Let's do Julius. I know you like Julius.
I do like Julius and Julius.
Julius.
I don't know, we have a reel out there somewhere.
There is. We've done
with-
Julius on the
With me and
Instagram.
Julius. We have
If
a
you're not on the
history.
Instagram, you should be.
We have a history.
But Julius is definitely.
Ooh.
You were saying earlier, you think it's one of their most sought after beers, but I don't think
Let's just
so.
drink it.
Current day, but we'll see.
This one's definitely got some aroma. Wow.
It definitely feels more like a beer than the other two did.
That is extremely smooth. I mean, a fine, slight, bitter finish. A little fruity. Got a little citrusy.
Peach, mango, and passion fruit with citrus. So it definitely is.
Honestly, that's what I'm getting in the aroma.
Is that not in the
The
taste?
peach. A little peachy. Actually, I think, honestly, if I taste anything in there, it's peach.
Okay.
But this is definitely, again, really creamy, great mouthfeel. What do you give it for a rating there, Joe?
What did I give the green?
You gave the green an 8, I believe.
I have to say, I want to do one more sip to be honest. No, I gave the Haze an 8. I think the green was either a 6.5 or a 7.
7.25, I believe, or 7.5. This is an Indian Pale Ale, and it's a 6.8%, which isn't really too heavy. But I'll tell you,
I'm gonna go with 7 even on this one. I definitely like the Haze more.
I honestly like that. And for just a Indian Pale Ale, that is just ridiculously smooth.
It is smooth. It's
such a fine bitter in the end, in the finish.
I really think, like I
I'm
said,
going to give this one an 8.5.
like I said, I'm gonna go a little lower. It's gonna be a 7 because I like the Haze more, but that's not even me trying to argue. I think it's a personal palate opinion. I like the flavors in the Haze more. I could see how somebody would like the Julius.
Well, it's going to factor out to like a 7 3/4 or something like that. So
Some beers are not.
we're gonna finish this up, and we'll get back to you with a full wrap up.
Sounds good to me. Let's do it.
All right, Joe. What'd you think of Treehouse?
Treehouse. What did I think of it? What do I think of these beers, or what do I think of Treehouse overall?
Well, take your pick, whichever you like.
Treehouse overall is definitely one of my favorite breweries in Massachusetts. In the whole New England region, they're definitely in my top 5. What I think of these 3 beers, I've had better. What'd you think?
Ooh, you've had better.
I've had better from Treehouse, I should say.
Oh, okay. There are better variations of all 3 of these.
Definitely agreed.
These are really good. Treehouse makes excellent beer. You can't even argue it. They make great beer. I've never been down to Charlton. I have a mule that does that shit for me.
Buddy.
He's compensated.
I happen to actually like going there. I won't necessarily take the day drive, especially in the winter, but I frequent Six Flags in the summer, so it's a good stop along the way.
Which makes it convenient for us if we, choose to get some.
But even that, there's been times where it's been 20, 30 minutes out of the way. I've been able to talk the wife into it. The location is awesome. For example, we got a dog in Hartford, Connecticut one time. First place we brought the puppy was to Treehouse. Very welcoming. Great location, plenty of land.
There is hiking trails. I mean, Charlton is an
Exactly.
expansive building.
We took the dog for a nice
It's a
little
great. They have great features. I mean, they have
This
great
company,
aspects.
one thing I like, they're doing more than just the beer. people that really dig into the knowledge of Treehouse, they have a farm in Connecticut that they are
they use as much as they possibly
selling
can.
some. Yeah, they're selling some fruit, and then they're using the fruit for
And
their
what they
beers.
can't can't use, they sell.
Now, I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but Treehouse definitely is a cool concept. They get their name from their original location, where they started out in Barneston, Massachusetts, I believe. Brimsfield, Massachusetts, and they literally had a building that was the size of a treehouse. Cool thing is, if you ever go to the Charlton location, as soon as you walk in, they have an outline, so you understand just how small this brewery started, which I think is cool.
Their marketing is ridiculous. People go gaga over this. You would think, if you checked on online sites, you would think Jesus dipped his balls in every can.
He didn't.
Honestly, it's really good. But
I thought he did.
is it that great? Me personally, I wouldn't make the drive. I don't make the drive. But I get it when I can. I have so much stuff that's 20-minute drive, 15-minute drive,
So you're
half
spoiled.
hour. I am spoiled where I am. So I don't have to make that drive. And I can get something of pretty equal quality. I think we've proven it in some of our past episodes and beer battles. So, is it a great beer? Yes, it's a great beer. If you can get your hands on some, get some.
It's definitely worth trying.
Would I drive 2 hours for it? I wouldn't. But that's me. I'm picky, and maybe
It's
I don't like
like
the
I
car
said.
as much.
Personally, I'm in the same boat. I won't drive 2 hours for it. It's about an hour and 20 from us. But I'm not making the drive. If I'm going that way, though, I will go out of my way to stop. This is fantastic beer. We do have a lot of great options near us, like I said. But Treehouse is worth checking out. If you enjoyed today's video, rating? We're doing rating?
I think we did. But we should.
8.5.
8.5. I'm going to 7.75 on this because it is good, and I think that's a pretty good average of these 3 beers on what I rated
beers, yeah. Overall, for me, the brewery's an 8.5. They're doing a lot of great things as far as growing fruit, expanding.
And they cooperate.
Everything a
They
brewery
work
should
with
be
the
doing.
state too to make maximum use of the land they've
Land,
abutted.
product,
And,
everything.
yeah,
I'm a
I
big
mean-
fan of what they're doing.
They have a lot of good aspects to their company and their company motto and philosophy.
So there's a few locations. We'll throw that out there for you. You can either go to Sandwich, Deerfield, Charlton, and that one I can't think of right now, but I'm sure they have on their website.
Munson is their barrel aging.
I don't think
facility.
that's open to the public.
No, my
but-
mistake.
Quick little note, since you mentioned it, Munson is the second location when they moved out of their first, the original Treehouse location. They still use that location today for their barrel aging program, which is pretty cool because a lot of their barrel aged stouts are pretty good. We didn't do any today, but maybe next time.
That was
But-
Treehouse. We are the Craft Beer Cult.
I'm Joe,
I'm Fred.
and if you like today's episode, we do have a previous one on Treehouse somewhere back there doing a few of their Pilsners and Lagers. We have a beer battle featuring Treehouse and one of our personal favorites, Spyglass. So, hope you can check out those episodes. I hope you enjoyed today's, and I hope to see you next time.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thanks for joining us.